Hooligans, we back. Surprised? I bet. Me too. Y'all were killing it this week. The momentum was rolling. Energy was high. Y'all got the league bumping again. So I came out of hibernation. I did one podcast, and now we're doing another in 1 week. 2 in 1 week, because that's what's needed. I'm going to keep riding this wave. We already checked off a lot of items off our preseason to-do list. And so I figured I would just keep going, keep riding this energy, and see if we can bang out a couple more. So here we are. The second episode of the season, of season 2, for the infamous Hooligans League podcast. Let's go.
It's time!
Every day I'm hooligan, every day I'm hooligan, every day I'm hooligan.
Okay, so first off, on a serious note, I just want to thank y'all for taking care of business. We got everyone locked in to come back for the league. We got drafts. We got draft lottery. We secured a lot of things for the year already in a matter of 3 days. So big wins all around. Big appreciations to all of you for just hopping in, dealing with the flood of group chats, spamming of questions, ideas, the quick podcast follow-up with a survey. Everyone got it done same day. So shout out to you all. Crushing it. Already off to a hot start, even if it's a little later than I intended. So we're going to recap all that real quick, just in case you haven't been paying attention. You're just kind of been blindly saying yes and trusting everyone else. I'll recap what we've gone through and decided already. And then we're going to jump into some of the other decisions we have to make with a big emphasis on payouts, prizes, maybe some penalties. I also, while I was getting this ready, I just was kind of doing some other things for the future and realized, we got to move now. So there is a surprise in this episode, something that I was not intending to bring this early, but why not? Why not? So let's not waste any time. Let's jump in to our plans for the upcoming year. Let's go.
The whiskers.
Yeah, so we are the douchebags this year. We got our theme. It's a big milestone. People have already started naming their teams. If you haven't, get on that. If you haven't updated your photo in the app, get on that. Do it sooner than later, at least by the draft. So you got plenty of time, but just get prepared for people to call you an asshole or make fun of you if you don't. I'm usually one of the last people to do it. So I really don't have much room to talk, but we usually have a couple people who haven't done it yet by the time the season starts. So let's eliminate that trend. Also, we might need to get a little bit more creative with some of these names. You picked your person, but can you spice it up a little bit? Add some titties to your name, like Miss Berkey did last year. Or, we got Gaston's Grundle. Come on, nice alliteration there. Brought in the private parts. Let's get a little bit more creative. Also, I believe someone has a name in there right now that has already been a name before in a previous league, previous season, I should say. So if you have a repeat name, yeah, you're definitely getting made fun of for that. Not calling anyone's names out yet because I don't even have a name, but come on, guys. We can do better. We can do better. I don't even have a name, so I'm a douchebag, literally. So, take these comments with a grain of salt. But here's my challenge to you. I've had a couple people reach out and say we need to step it up. And so I'm a man of the people and I spread the word. So don't be a douche. Figure out your names. Spice it up. Yep, that's the theme. So big milestone. Our draft is set. Shout out to Jovi, who once again is going to draft overseas. Our draft is Wednesday, September 6th, the day before the season starts. So we have plenty of time to prepare, plenty of time to do mock drafts. plenty of time to actually start catching up on fantasy football. I know a lot of you haven't done a damn thing, and yet somehow I still can't beat you, even though I get a couple months head start. But we won't have much time to adjust before the first game. So not many time for transactions. So you better draft wisely. Let's plan on getting together for it again. We had a good crew last year. Maybe we can get it a little bit bigger. It's a weekday, work night for most. So it might be difficult, 7 o'clock, but come on, we draft once a year. We can make it happen. We'll figure that out when we get closer. And then we'll probably set up some sort of Zoom web chat for those that can't make it in person. Again, we're a month and a half away, so we'll figure that out when we get closer. So to figure out your draft order, we're running it back. We're going pure chaos. Coke 0400. Saturday, August 26th. Love me some NASCAR. Best summer event there is. At least it's become that way for me. Don't need to pay attention every second. Can be making bets on other things. I can be watching other things. I can play in video games. I can do whatever I want during this event because there's only like 15 exciting minutes of the whole race. But it's perfect for this because it's purely random. It's purely luck. And if you think about it, last year, Chow got eliminated super early in the race. And we saw what he did with his team. So glad we went with this. If you want to drink some beers and watch this, I'm game. You know I'm game. I'll probably draw the names sometime before the race starts. I don't know. I don't plan that out in advance, really. So you'll stay tuned. Also, if you want to do some research for everyone and throw it in the chat, go ahead and do that because I'm just assuming it's a lot of the same racers, but I don't know. So we'll talk more when we get closer. We're still over a month away. And the last thing that we've accomplished this week is the trade deadline party. We nailed it. Everybody is in. Few people told me they're doing both days that were on the fence or maybe didn't last year. We got all 12 of us going somewhere for the trade deadline party. That is Saturday, November 18th. We will rent a place for Friday and Saturday. We'll figure out all the details of what that looks like. Probably going to add in some blackout periods because it was high stress the entire time. Besides like late night playing drinking games, everyone was on their phone. Not everyone. Most of us, especially me, was on our phones the whole damn time. So we'll figure that out when we get much closer. I've already started looking at places. Heads up, it will be more expensive this year. The place we booked was available the other day when I was looking at places. They had increased their prices by a couple $100. We only paid $555 last year, which is wild. They had already bumped up their prices. They realized it was a little too cheap. And then I looked today, and it's gone. Someone booked it on that Sunday or Saturday through the week, through Thanksgiving. So that house is out. All the other houses were more expensive. We're still not going to spend more than $100 each for the weekend. So it's still very manageable, but it will be a slight increase in cost. We'll also probably get a nicer place because of that. And we definitely will, actually, because I have already started. I've looked through probably 20 or 30 places. I've been starting to cut down the list. And we got some good ones. So you'll hear more about those soon. Pretty darn soon, actually. And we will lock that in and book our place. Let's go. That pretty much does it for the stuff we took care of. Yeah, that's everything. So kudos to y'all for being responsive, decisive, making shit happen. Now we're moving on to more items. This one's a big one. This one's all the money stuff. Payouts, prizes, buy-in, penalties maybe. So let's talk cash.
Where are your rebel friends now?
Your Pop-Tarts are ready. Oh,
Okay, so first up, I am proposing a slight increase to the buy-in. Now, I know we just doubled it last year, but I promise you, this is small. You can probably see it already. It's on the screen. I am throwing out that we up it by $10 to 210. Weird number, I know, but it makes sense in the long run. Why should we do this? Reason number one is because we are adding in the toilet bracket into the league, not some side bet afterwards. We're building it in so that we can prepare for it because it did get a little clunky last year. We're committing to it now. That is my proposal. You'll have your opportunity to let me know if you're in favor of this. There's not too many changes, so I imagine most of you will be, but if there are additional ideas or potential directions we can go into, I'm willing to explore it. So this is my proposal. I do want to set that stage. But the first thing is a $10 increase. One that allows us to include that toilet bracket championship. And two, it allows us to pay money to everyone who makes the playoffs so that people who make the playoffs don't earn less than people who didn't. And three, it just allowed me to set it up so they're nice, clean, easy numbers. We don't need any like $7 winning prizes or $77 to go to someone or 50 cents. Like, didn't want any of that. And by upping it to 10 across the board and upping the whole pot by 120, it allows for all those things to happen. So people who don't make the playoffs will get a chance to win some money. People who make the playoffs but lose early will win money. And all the numbers are nice and clean and easy. So let's get into it. Weekly prizes, nothing changes. Still $420 in the weekly prize pool. $20 to the top scoring winner or the top scorer of that week, and $10 to the top scoring loser. So even if you get some shit luck, you still get some money. We run a fair and equitable league, and everyone has a chance to earn, even if your team gets screwed by the fantasy gods. So no changes there. Also, no changes to the regular season prize pool. It seemed to be successful last year, so why not run it back? $50 to the number one seed, $50 to most points, $50 to the survivor, which I still love. It's a nice, solid prize to win. It keeps you on edge every week. And even if your team sucks or you get someone injured, all you got to do is not be the worst one that week, and you can have a chance to win. So keeping those, and then $25 to the best week and $25 to most points again. So again, more money to people who might not have a good team. You can still win I don't know about your money back, but close to it if the cards fall correctly. So no changes here. No changes with the weekly prizes. Where the changes happen are with our playoff prizes. And so with the additional $10 in the buy-in, our regular season prize pool is now up to $1,900. It's a lot of money. And more people are getting paid. The Toilet Bowl champion will get $50. So you miss the playoffs, you can still walk away with a fitty burger. You make the playoffs and don't win a single game, come in sixth place, you also win a fitty burger. So most people are getting money guaranteed. 7 out of 12 guaranteed money. Fifth place, you get a slight bump up, you get $75. Fourth place, another slight bump up, $125. Okay, you come in fourth, you're probably coming pretty close to paying off your buy-in. Third place, $250, guaranteed to pay off your buy-in, and then some, most likely. Second place, $500, and first place, $850. Now you'll see here that first place prize is a little smaller than it was last year. I forget what it was. It wasn't a clean number, so I don't remember. probably a couple $100 shorter. That's partially for the toilet bowl champion. That's partially for the 4th, 5th, and 6th place prize dollars. And it's also to just bring the prizes a little bit close to each other, because it became clear last year that a lot of people feel the need to hedge. And I don't even know if it's a lot of people. A few people at least feel the need to hedge if they make the championship. And that's just, I get it. It makes sense mathematically. It's a game of luck at the end of the day. But we shouldn't need that. You shouldn't need to feel like you have to hedge. It also just takes away a little of the bragging rights when you win and you hedged. So try to balance up the prize pool a little bit to hurt that. We don't want hedging in our league. We're a bunch of douchebags. We play to win. So that number is a little lower, and every other number is higher than it was last year, I believe. Or maybe not every single one, but most of these numbers are higher than they were last year. So this is actually the exact same proposal I threw out at the end of the season when these topics were coming up. It seemed like people were in support of it, but if you have concerns because you feel like that first place prize isn't big enough, well, let me know. Let's talk about it. I will say that you still have a lot of money that you can potentially win. And I've actually broken that down, but I have one more thing to get into before I present the overall proposal. And that is because we have Rivalry Week, y'all. Rivalry Week's been in the app always. It's there every year. It says it's Rivalry Week. I don't even know who I've ever played before. But last year, for whatever reason, it kind of became a thing. And so now I'm proposing we make it a thing. And it's not major what I have put together, but I think it adds the right amount of excitement around this week. So let's talk about Rivalry Week. What I'm thinking is that it is a $10 wager. So the loser pays the winner $10. This is not coming from the buy-in. I didn't want to increase that even more. This is coming directly from the loser to the winner. I play Rick in Rivalry Week. He beats me. I send him $10. He rubs it in my face and he does whatever he wants with that money. In addition, Rick would get dibs. First dibs on the beds at the trade party. So Rick won. He's got dibs. Chris won. He's got dibs. Radler won. He's got dibs. Joe V, James, Dick. Well, actually not Dick. He sucks. Caveney. All 6 of them. They win Rivalry Week. They get $10 and they get dibs. And the way that the betting order would be determined is by the seeding. So whoever won and has the highest seed, they would get priority over whoever won and has the lower seeds below them. And then if you lose, you're in the bottom 6 picks, no matter what. And that still goes in order of seeding. So you better play your asses off this year if you want an actual bet at the party. And you better win Rivalry Week if you want an actual bet. But there is one exception to this. Whoever is in first place at the party, they automatically get the number 1 bed selection. They've earned it. This is a football league. And you fight all season long. If you're in first place at the party, you get first dibs on a bed. Even if you show up late. You can kick someone out of the bed if you want. You get first dibs. So that's what I'm proposing for Rivalry Week. Some money on the line, some comfort on the line. And the way that we will figure out Rivalry Week, who your rival is we will randomize a schedule before we draft. And we will figure out what our schedule is and who we're playing that week. So that's my proposal. I like it, but I want to know what you think. So that's, oh no. one more piece of the puzzle. One more piece of this puzzle. I'm proposing some penalties. Now, not the penalty that you might be thinking. This isn't a penalty for last place, even though I do love those. And if we want to add that, I'm down. But I'm not going to try to push that down people's throat because we already spend a lot of money on this. And we all have different levels, comfort levels of what's embarrassing and not. So if we wanted to add a penalty for last place, I'm game. Throw an idea in the chat. But these are smaller penalties to just make the experience a little smoother for everyone. And this is based on past season. Penalty number 1. If you start a player who doesn't play, James or anyone else, but James did it twice, you have a penalty. And you need to bring a 30-pack to the party every time you do that. You do that twice before the trade deadline, you're bringing 2 30-packs. No one's giving you money for that. You got to be starting your players, and you got to be on top of it. You can't be giving people free dubs because you didn't manage your team correctly. Now, if someone wants to not start someone intentionally, they can do that. Just know that you're bringing a 30-pack to the party. You're paying for that move if you feel like that's what's best for your team. Got to make sure everyone is playing against the full team. It's not fair when someone gets a easier win because someone didn't play for whatever reason. Now, if it's after the trade deadline party, $10 into the pot to first place. Try to bump that number back up a little bit. So I propose a penalty if you don't start someone. And a lot of leagues have penalties. This is just for this type of thing. This is just a more creative one, I think. The second penalty I have is failure to deliver the damn trophy. We got trophies and medals now, y'all. You gotta deliver it. I'm talking about you, Andy. I'm talking about you, Dan. Yeah, I don't think Dick has his chain yet. Now, we didn't have rules. We didn't have expectations for it. You weren't set up for success. But now, Chow and Dick, you better be quick with it after this season. Because for every month that it takes you to deliver your trophy to the next recipient, that bumps you down 1 slot in the bed selection for the next upcoming trade deadline party. So, Dick, if it takes you 2 months to give that trophy to someone, yeah, in your case, you might be lucky. You might get to keep the trophy. But in the case that someone else comes in last, if it takes you 2 months to deliver, then you're down 2 spots in the bed selection. And I guess for you, whatever, you're down to sleep outside. But for Chow, I'm sure you want a bed. You had a nice cozy room last year, just like I did. You deliver that trophy late, each month you're dropping down a slot. So some fun penalties. Could be costly if you don't start someone, but that's very, very avoidable. So that's my proposal for penalties. And this wraps up our buy-in, payouts, prizes, penalties. I'm going to put together another survey. Fill it out. Let me know if you're cool with it. You can either just sign off and say I'm cool with all of it, or you can add in something you're unsure of or an idea you have. I'll review what you guys say, and I'll make an adjustment or keep it as is. But I won't make any adjustments unless you say something, and I'm cool to just ride with this. So overall, we got $2,520 in the pot because of our $210 buy-in. We know the weekly prizes. We know the regular season prizes. Playoff prizes are newer. We'll get used to them. Just know if you make the playoffs, you're making money, and you got that toilet bracket if you don't. And then for those that are concerned that they want more from the first place prize, I did do some math for you. If you won everything you possibly could, you could rack in $1,430 plus some free beer, I guess, if people get penalties. plus more money if people get penalties that could go to first place. But if you come in first, you're winning anywhere from $850 to $1,400 plus. Your max loss, if you lose everything, you don't win a damn thing, you're losing $220. So not a big change, honestly. Still a lot of money up for grabs, and there's a little bit more risk if your team sucks. You could lose $20 extra by season end, but I like it. Let me know what you think. Fill out the survey. I'll talk more about that in a second because I actually have one more thing. I have one more thing. And it's a surprise. It's a surprise. Come a little closer for this, actually. Closer. I got options for the trade party house ready. I wasn't going to do it, but I got excited. I got a little trade party boner, and I had to let y'all see it. When I saw that our old house got taken, that got me nervous, and I figured we need to start moving on this. And I've gone through a ton of the houses throughout New England, and I have two options that have floated to the top amongst the rest. And so I want to walk you through those two and then see if you have a preference, if you don't, if you're okay with one of those houses being selected. And if so, if most of us are comfortable with one or both of the houses, I am going to look to book this ASAP. ASAP. So, my surprise is we got some potential houses. So let's look at them. All right. So let's look at them. So I pulled up Verbo here. This is what I went through last year because Airbnb typically has more fees than them. It's just across the board. Verbo appears to be a little bit cheaper, just not as big of a selection. So if you're looking to do an Airbnb, I would always check Verbo as well. You can see here, I have a bunch of different boards because I was going in. I first created like a huge list. It probably had 20, maybe more houses in it, off quick reactions. And then I started combing through them a little bit in more detail and categorizing them. Got a couple. I got this one that is solid, but really far away, but it's cheap. These ones that didn't make the cut, but they had some positive quality about them. This good category are all solid ones. And then we have great but far. These are really good houses. Either they're cheap and nice or big and average priced, but they're just really far, like 2+ hour drives. And then I got this category here. This is the GOAT folder. And I got two choices that are just winners. Just winners. A little bit more expensive than we paid last year. But not by too much, especially if you got a bed, you paid a little bit more last year. Now we're not doing that. We're not adjusting the payment based on your sleeping arrangement. You got to fight for your sleeping arrangement. So let's dive in. We'll first do the Cape. So this Cape house, you know what? We'll do that one second. That's the more expensive one. We'll do the house in New Hampshire. So this one comes out to about $73 a person. It's a little further away than this house. It's up there, as you can see, central, eastern New Hampshire. For me, it was, I think, a little over 2 hours when I looked on Google Maps. It was also a little bit of traffic. So I think it would come down for me about an hour 45. And I'm right here. If you're Andy in Worcester, if you're in Maynard, maybe you're cutting off a little bit of time. Not quite sure. You have to check it out. Pine River Pond, New Hampshire. And it's actually a little bit northern than just Pine River. So yeah, this is the cheaper but further option. Pine River Pond, New Hampshire. So let's check this out. So, first picture, you're obviously sold by this piece. It's a beautiful house. There are, let me check my notes. I took a couple notes. There are, did I not save them? So there are 7 beds and multiple couches and tons of space you'll see for air mattresses. So sleeping, this will be much better than last year. Much, much better. There is also way more space than last year at both of these houses. So it will just be a better experience. The place is nicer, will be warmer no matter where you are. It's a win. This is clearly isolated. We shouldn't have to worry about sound. Let's dive in. The New Hampshire house. Huge deck. It'll be cold, but we went outside last year. It's a lot of trade talks went on outside. You can do it comfortably if you bring layers to stay warm. We got a nice outdoor setup, nice lake to look at. Not going near that thing. You can see there's a lot of rooms like this, comfortable rooms to play cards here at this table. Talk trades. This could be a negotiating room. There's a TV in the back. This couch looks comfy to sit on and sleep on if you have to get one of the later bids on a bed. Another view of this room, you can see it opens up into the dining room. Great views. I mean, this house is awesome. Fireplace, I don't know if we can actually use that, but that'd be cool. The dining room table, we'll pull some other chairs if we do have a nice family league meal. Big ass fucking couch. I don't know where this is. Maybe this is in the basement with a nice TV. And we got a game room that looks like it's right next to it. Some foosball. Nice. Another couch right here. Spiral staircase if you're into that. Nice, cool room. This looks like one of the top choices for the beds. If we do go here. Another view of the bed. Just an office. Nice negotiating table. Kitchen. Big enough kitchen. We don't really need a kitchen too much. Bathrooms are ugly. Who cares? Who cares? Some bean bags. You can get some nice and cozy. And I could see Rick pulling you over here and talking sweet whispers into your ear, getting you to do a nice deal with him. I wouldn't mind joining that beanbag. Maybe getting a 4-team trade going. Another bed next to the beanbags. Bed, couch, small couch, but a couch. Bathroom, nicer bathroom. I think this has 4 bathrooms in it, by the way. So no more waiting for people to go to the bathroom. No needing to go outside to go to the bathroom. There's going to be plenty of reach. Bed, another pull out under it. Next to each other. Not the top bed selection, but here are some bed selections. Washer and dryer if you need it. Outdoor table, grill. Outdoor section, light a fire. That's probably wrapping this place up. But as you can see, beautiful fucking house. I believe there's plenty of parking because it's isolated. It's got a long driveway. It's got that big parking section. Was there a garage? There is a garage. I don't know if the garage is available. I don't remember. But overall, this is a winner. And this is $73 a person. A little further away, but plenty of beds, plenty of space. Got foosball, plenty of TVs. It's got everything we need. Further drive, a little bit more expensive than last year, but way better quality. So let me just take a quick peek. If I'm missing anything, 8 beds it says in the house. Some of those are those pull-out beds, but that's solid. What do we got for bathrooms? 2 bathrooms. Oh, I lied. I thought there was more bathrooms. I guess I'm thinking about the other house. The other house has a lot of bathrooms. So I've looked through this. I don't think there's any other standout information. Yeah. So fantastic house. I would love to book this ASAP if we can. So this is option 1. Option 2. is the Cape House. A little bit more expensive, a little closer, more bathrooms, maybe one or two less beds, but plenty of space. This house is special. It is special. If I could rent this place out in the summer, I would. There's no way it's this cheap in the summer. This place has 5 full bathrooms. And the reason is because there are more than one house on this property. Okay? That's the main house. Obviously, we're not going to go in the pool. You will see that this is not the only house on the property. Nice outdoor section. If it is warm enough, we can hang out there. We're not going to do the virtual walkthrough. They have a barn that is separate from that house. As you can see here, there's a nice juicy couch there. There's a huge ass TV, a bar, another table, a pool table. This is like the epic hangout section. We'll set up the Xbox on this TV. Rick's playing Fortnite. Dan and Chow are playing pool. I'm trying to get Rattler to make a trade with me, and people are setting up quarters to get everyone going right here. I mean, this is the selling point of this house. One of the many. This is what really brought it to GOAT level in the tiers of my folders. The inside of the house, you'll see it's kind of funky. It's really nice, but it's also kind of weird. I'm assuming this is in the main house. You got the full kitchen, dining room, another couch. A glass table makes me nervous. A lot of wobbles happen at this weekend. So we probably wouldn't be drinking much here anyways, but there is another TV there. Or was that art? I don't know if that's TV or an art. It could be one of those fancy TVs that look like art. More seating. This looks like negotiation places. There's a piano. We're not going near that fucking thing. Nice tables. This is the main house. There's an office. Very isolated. This is like the quiet space, I would imagine. Another table in here. This could be the second house. I'm not sure. It doesn't actually explain which house is which. But you'll see the main house has multiple floors. Here's one of the beds. Here's the bathroom. Another bed. Is that another bed right? Oh no, I'm dumb. That's just the counter on the wall. Nicer than the other house, but it's really not a selling point. You just need it to be manageable. But 5 full bathrooms. I'm assuming that's the barn. Nope, that's the barn. That's probably the second house, and this is the main house right here next to this area. So there is a ton of space. There are 6 beds at least. I think 7 is what I counted. I think there's like a pull-out bed. Multiple couches, and like you could set up your air mattress and keep it in the main house the whole weekend and not have to worry about people getting in the way. That's how much space there is. Or you could put it in the second house. You could figure it out. It's up to you if you lose and have to get second tier or third tier bed. There's even a tennis court. Now, I doubt anyone's playing tennis, but if you want to play tennis, you can play tennis. Super nice house. I can't imagine what this goes for in the summer. I'll probably take a peek later. Huge yard, plenty of room for parking. Nice place. This is $93 a person for 3 houses. So I don't know which way I'm leaning. I think I'm leaning towards this one because it's a little closer and it has that barn, which is epic. But I'm cool with either or. The other house is huge, super comfortable. It's got the right vibes. It's also, I guess, another factor to consider when making your vote, because I'll include this in the survey, is this one obviously is in the Cape. It's in Sandwich. So there's more things around instead of being in the middle of kind of nowhere. Another couch, another TV. Okay, this is the second house. Okay, I did not scroll enough through this. This is the second house. So this is getting better. There's a more casual house here Then there's the main house, which could be more quiet, sleeping, set up your air mattresses, and then the barn for partying. And that's why there's 5 bathrooms, more beds in the second house, obviously. So yeah, I love this one. Multiple houses. So if you're trying to nap, if you're trying to get away from trade talks, if you're trying to set up an air mattress for the weekend and not have to deflate it and have people walk over it, this is perfect. It's also going to be a little closer. It's a little more, but there's things around us. To me, this is where I'm leaning, but I am not against this at all. Beautiful. I'll include the links in the survey just in case you want to dive through it and comb through it and like really make your choice. But the way that I'm going to go about this, I'm going to include a question in the survey that basically asks you, do you care either way? And if you don't, you can just click that option. Do you have a preference? You can vote, or you can say, I would like us to keep looking. And if enough people said, let's keep looking, maybe you want something cheaper. It's going to be hard to find something cheaper. But if you want me to keep looking, and enough of you do, then I will keep looking. I will say, though, the cheap, let's see, where's the cheap option? Good, cheap, far. Even that was, what's the total? 800 total. So it's less, it's going to cut off like $5. This would be probably like high 60s. And this is probably 3 hours away. Conway, New Hampshire. I don't know how far that is, at least 2.5. So there really aren't many other options. So if for whatever reason you hate either of these two, let me know. I do have things in my back pocket, but this is the proposal. We got beautiful New Hampshire house, an hour 45, 2 hours away, plenty of beds in the middle of nowhere. So we're isolated. Just might be a little hard to get stuff. And the Cape house, not as big, but separate spaces, plenty of beds, but maybe one less, a little bit more money. So it's up to you all. Let me know what you're thinking, and I will tally the votes and make a call based on your feedback. And if you have some serious concerns, let me know, because I would like to book these ASAP. And if we're not going to go with one of these, then that's fine. I just need to start looking for other houses and throw other proposals out there. And if we are going to go with this, then I want to book before someone else does, because houses are getting booked. It's only a couple months away, or no, we got a few months, but they are getting booked. So these are the options. Let me get to our homework. Yes, more homework. The standard shit though. So update your team names and your photo if you haven't already. Get more creative if you want to. Can't actually make you do that, but someone's going to eventually say something because they're saying it to me. At least get your names in there. I will tell you though, it's probably going to take me a week or two. I got to think about this. I need a good douchebag. Surveys. So I'm going to have a survey that's going to ask about the payout structure. And if you're in favor of it, if you are in favor of it, there'll just be like a question. You can just say yes, and you can ignore the rest of the questions until you get to the next section. If you have concerns, there'll be spaces for you to talk about which parts you'd like to edit. In addition, in that survey will be some questions about the houses. And so this is big. Once I have your feedback, your reactions, if it's all clean and easy, then we'll lock these in ASAP. If not, then maybe next week we continue this conversation. But all I'm asking is you fill out this survey by Monday, end of day. That way we could potentially book the house on Monday or Tuesday and lock it in. And to make that process easier, send me some money. Either send me $100 even or $210 for your buy-in. Either, about what the house will be plus some change, or the buy-in. That way I don't have to fork over my money this time. It wasn't too bad when it was $555. Now we're going to be upwards of $1,000. So I'd love to collect some money first. So team names, survey by Monday. Ideally, if you can get it done today, Friday, then that's great. But people got shit to do. And you need to think about this a little bit. Or some of you will need to think about this a little bit. And then send me some money. I'll send you a reminder in the chat. But do your homework assignments. Next week, we will be talking, if all this gets squared away, next week, we will be talking about potential rule changes, roster changes, that piece. Really, that's probably one of the final pieces is just determining the format of the league. If we're going to change anything, some ideas have already been floated around. So that'll be the topic of next week or the week after. I actually do not want to set a precedent that I'm doing an episode every week up to the season, but the next podcast will be on rule changes and roster construction. So that's episode 2. We're hitting it hard. We're getting moving. We're about to have a house booked. We got a theme. We got a draft. We're killing it. So thank you all for your support and cooperation through this. Once we get through this grind next couple of weeks, it's all smooth sailing and fantasy preparation. So keep being douchebags, keep being hooligans. Peace out.
Best in the business when it comes to a quarterback sneak. Let's go! Let's go!